Do you like making a difference? Have you ever really thought about the power of clean water? And what is going on with the water crisis? Do you know? Well, today on Breakroom Conversations, we are going coming on very shortly from Charity Water, and she is going to teach us a lot of new things because I have so many questions for her. We are waiting for her to join. As you know, we have, if y'all can just stay patient with me, it is so, oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hi, McKenna.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. It's such an honor to have a very strong representative from Charity Water with us. It's a very important organization that we donate to here at Aveda and Neil. So we are ready to ask you all the questions because we have so many questions for you. But first, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do with Charity Water?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Makena Cunningham, and I work on the brand partnerships team here at Charity Water. So I get to work with amazing companies like Neil and Aveda to empower communities to make an impact on the water crisis, to spread the word, and to get us towards a day where everyone has clean water to drink.
I love it. So, in talking about the water crisis, what is the crisis? What's happening out there?
That's a good question. So, when we talk about the water crisis, we're talking about the 703 million people in the world who don't have access to clean and safe drinking water. So, if you think you or I probably are within eyesight, you probably see my kitchen behind me. I'm within eyesight of, 2 or 3 taps at any point in time. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I get a glass of water, I might wash my face or my hands, and maybe not think twice about it. For 703 million people, 1 in 10 people who live on the planet Earth, that's not a reality. So most of that 703 million people live in rural communities in developing countries. So they'll often have no choice but to walk to the closest source of water, whether that's clean or not. And that often means walking hours each day. It's usually women and girls who culturally have the job of collecting water. And it's a crisis because it really affects every part of your life when you don't have access to clean water. So if you think about the closest source that you might have, that's not your house. It might be a stream in your backyard. It might be a river. It might be a lake. What would it look like if you had to go and drink that water? That's a reality for 703 million people. So what does that look like in your everyday life? You're not as healthy. If you look at that water, you're like, I
Right.
wouldn't drink that. There's things in there. There might be bugs,
I'm
E.
sure there's so much
coli.
sickness that people get. Yeah.
Exactly. So health is a big part of the water crisis, sort of like directly tied to that. The time that you would spend collecting that water, if it's not like right in your home or right in your community, and that has all sorts of things down the line. So time that you're collecting water, or during that you might be sick. If you're a kid, you can't go to school. If you're a parent, that's time that you have away from your family. And if you would otherwise like to earn income, water
Yeah.
comes first, and you really don't have a choice. So when we talk about the global water crisis, we're talking about water, but we're really talking about a lot of different things that sort of,
Humanity, human life.
yeah,
Yeah.
that are tied to it. So when you get access to clean water, we say water changes everything. We really do mean it, because the average household, just from charity water projects, saves 70 minutes a day in water collection time. Imagine if you have an
Wow.
hour and 10 minutes back in your day, super
We
reliably.
know we need all that time back in our day.
What would you do? You'd maybe, hey, maybe I'll start a business. Maybe I'll build on the one I have now. Maybe I'll go back and
They
go back to school. I didn't
go to
finish that thing that I
school.
wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has these big, wide-reaching impacts, particularly for women and particularly for girls who sort of have that job culturally of collecting water in the
Yeah.
community that we work.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, my heart right now is just breaking for those that are having to go through this. And it's so great that your organization, and there's many organizations out there that are really striving to help this crisis. Now, what success stories let's talk
The
about the
good
good stuff. What
stuff
success
is great.
stories
Yeah.
have you
Oh,
seen?
so many. I mean, I mentioned everything changes when you get access to clean water. We see that time and time and time again. So as far as charity water, just to give you a scale of the types of stories we could tell in this time,
Yeah.
since we were founded in 2006, we've brought clean water with the help of communities like Neil, like Aveda, to over 18.4 million people.
Wow.
So it's a small part. We're at 2%, but we're working towards it. And when I hear numbers like that, to your point, like, let's hear some success stories. What does that actually mean for people, right? One of my favorites is a woman named Honorine. She lives in Madagascar. She's a mom of two, used to work kind of on like a construction crew, but she would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning to collect water. And she'd walk, and it's water that wasn't safe to drink. So her family was sick. She was spending all this time collecting water, not earning income, also not really doing what she wanted to do in life.
Right.
She's super gregarious, super like
Yeah.
animated, super friendly. She's like, this is just not like the right thing, but it's what I have to do to keep my family, running.
Right.
So she gets access to clean water, and she actually has this huge transformation, not only for her life and her family's life, but for the community. So she actually, while she was working on this construction crew, she had this idea to start a restaurant. She was like, that sounds great. Something we don't have. I would love that. I'd get to talk to everyone. What happens if I could do that, right? So clean water comes to the community. Not only is her family healthy again, right? So if you're drinking clean water versus dirty water, your family's healthy again. Not only that, but she starts this restaurant. And she, all the things you think you have to clean, right? So like utensils, bowls, plates, everything. She's like, we have plenty. I have 10 times the water I had before. But not only that, she's actually the caretaker of the community water project and tap stand. And so she has a little bit of extra income from managing that and for the community. And so she used that to expand beyond her business. So now not only is her business getting a little bit bigger, but other businesses are starting around it in her community. So instead of nothing, where there was nothing before, there are all these little small businesses, restaurants, snack stands in her community around this water point that she helps manage. She was really excited when we spoke to her, because she's getting written up in the local newspaper about it. But the thing that really touched my heart was she also inspired not only those businesses, but the other women around her. There's a woman in this community, Christine, who shared with us, I really look up to Honorine because she has this, Christine's a single mom of two. She's like, she has this financial independence. She has this friendliness and this warmth. And like, now that I can see that she can do that, I think I can do it too. She started her own restaurant too.
Wow.
So not only is it sort of like empowering right there, but it's providing examples in the community of people you can look up to. And I don't think that there's any value that you can put on that.
That's amazing. Yeah. So not only, providing clean water is huge, huge, but yeah, empowering these communities, like you're saying, giving the confidence to these women that they deserve. You had mentioned that she is working with the clean water in the community. So do you guys go in, what do you teach them so that way they can continue to have this clean water?
Yeah, great question. Honoring is a great example of that. Actually, just let me back up. So charity water as a whole, when we implement projects, how we work, there's a couple things about us that are a little different. So we have a 100% model. So 100% of every donation goes directly towards funding water projects. Things like my salary, the computer I might be talking to you through, like all of that is completely covered by a separate group who covers our operations. So 100 cents on the dollar goes straight to supporting water projects and what I'm about to talk about as well.
Very important note.
Very
Wow,
important
that's
note.
huge.
Huge on transparency. So we prove every project that we build. And another third big thing for us is we actually work with local partners in the countries that we work in the regions that we work in. So it's Ethiopian hydrogeologists in Ethiopia working on projects. It's not sort of me coming from the United States into a different country. It's communities lifting themselves up, which is really important from a sustainability and a sort of a cultural appropriateness standpoint. So there are local implementing partners that we work with in every country that we work in. And in that way, we work with them really closely to determine what's the best water project, how should we approach, how is the best way to approach water and sanitation hygiene training and so forth, the things that sort of make projects work long term. And that covers everything from the pieces of the projects, like the physical pieces, the cement that won't crack after 1 year, kind of like in the bottom of, important to think about, the pipes
Mm-hmm.
that won't rust after
Mm-hmm.
2 years,
Good
how
things
do we
to
get the
know. Yeah.
supply chain locally and all of that. Local partners, huge in that front, and they lead. They help us lead that. They lead that for themselves and their communities. So there's that physical implementation, and then there's, I think, what everyone here is really familiar with is the work that you do is important. As a stylist, but your relationship with people is just as important.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that look like with water projects and sustainability of water projects? One of those things is forming water committees in the communities that we work
Okay.
in. So 6 to 8 people usually, at least half women, because as I mentioned, it's usually women's job, and they deserve a seat at the table.
Yes. Oop. I think we lost sound. Did we lose your sound? Can you hear me? If someone that is watching, can you hear Makena? Oh, there you are. All good.
So yes, so women on the water committee who help drive that forward. And then there's someone who's responsible for keeping track of small finances if there needs to be a small repair, someone who might know how to do that repair and make those decisions within the community to make sure it's sustainable over time. And then we make sure that there's a connection to our local partner and to us, to make sure that we can help step in if something were to go wrong long term. But we build projects to last 10 plus years, and then we do monitoring and evaluation to make sure that we're measuring that over time. How much water are people getting? Is the quality still good? And that's a piece of our sustainability that we use moving forward as Charity Water.
Gosh, it's such a huge impact that you guys are making for these communities and just the jobs that y'all are providing and increasing just the lifestyle for so many out there. Like you said, we take this all for granted that we have water at our fingertips right now, and I'm so incredibly thankful for all that you guys do, and so nice to hear that 100% goes to these projects as well. And what's the vision for Charity Water going, continuing to go forward and tackling this?
Good question. So
It's a tough question,
I
I
know
know.
it's a tough question. I mean, I think the most basic answer is ending the water crisis, and that's something that, while I thank you for your lovely words, that's not something that we can do without our community,
Mhm.
without partners like Neil, like Endaveda, without stylists, without all sorts of people, kids having birthday stands. Like that's something that is so essential to the work that we do. As I mentioned, we're about 2% of the way to solving the water crisis,
It's a
and
lot.
and
Yeah, it
it's a
takes a
lot.
lot.
But we believe that we can do that in our lifetime with the community that we're building. So y'all are such a big part of that and such an important part of that. So I did want to make sure to call that out,
Yeah.
because how do we get there, right? It's building that community. It's
Hmm.
spreading awareness. It's talking about the water crisis with your friends, your family, with guests, with customers, and ultimately getting people excited about maybe an issue that they haven't run across in their own life. And how do we solve that? Because we
Yeah.
have the answer. We actually, this is a problem that we have the answers to. We know how to bring clean water to every person on earth who doesn't have it right now. There are simple solutions, and we just need the awareness and the funds raised to do that.
Yeah, the awareness, especially, and I know, with our community here at Aveda and Neil, we have, especially for Earth Month, we do tons of different activities to raise money. But what would it look like if we did that every single day? Like, I feel like I need to have a poster out on the street telling people about what's going on out there. I don't think enough people know, what's going on. And I love, we have an event coming up soon. Actually, I was reminded that it's like almost a week away. It's not this Monday, but next Monday, or this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Yes.
And we're super excited about it. Night Out with Neil in Dallas, and part of the proceeds are going to Charity Water. So we are doing fantastic with ticket sales. We definitely would love to have more ticket sales because now there's a huge sense of urgency after talking to you that we really need to raise more money, raise more awareness. And I'm just so grateful that we are able to partner with you guys And yeah, I'm just filled with so much gratitude for what we have here, and then just thankful that y'all are out there fighting the fight and getting clean water to everyone. And gosh, what y'all are just doing for these communities is amazing. So just thank you so much from the bottom of our heart and behalf of Neil and Aveda for partnering with us and letting us help this fight with you
Oh,
guys.
thank you so much. Thank you. We're so glad to have everyone join in the mission, especially y'all. You're doing amazing things already, and we can't wait for our upcoming event on
I know it's like right around the corner.
I know, sneaks up on you.
Cool. Well, McKenna, it was so great to meet you, and we look forward to many more events and projects with you guys, and we look forward to hearing all the success stories as well.
We
So
can't wait.
thank you so much for, yeah, and everyone that's watching, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the next Breakroom Conversations. Bye, McKenna.
So long.